Toronto and St. Louis. These guys are on each side here. All right, next up, we go to the Guardians. I can't believe I said that right. The Guardians. I don't want to say that. Cleveland.
I'm starting to like it though. You know what? It's starting to kind of get ingrained in me. So
it's a bad name though.
It's a bad name, and again, you're messing with the tradition here. And how many announcers continue to say Indians? They say it all the time, and then half the time they don't even realize it, so they don't even apologize because it's just been in their DNA for all these years. So anyway, Astros -200, Guardians +170. Total in this game at Minute Maid Park, 8.5. Jeff, some thoughts on the Astros? I know you've been joining me here recently and on the Stros here. I like them myself, but I'll let you go ahead and lead off here.
Yeah, the offense is getting going a little bit for them. I will say, though, Cleveland, I think Cleveland, an underrated town. Gets a lot of shit, I guess, but I don't know why. I think it's a pretty good town. But that being said, this offense has been solid. I thought they'd kind of tail off. They were really good at the beginning of the season. There were like a week or two where they were scoring like 7 runs a game. They're still top 10. It's a pretty good offense. But I don't know who's pitching for Houston. MLB.com doesn't have a starter, so I don't.
I'm sorry. I should have went over that. Sorry. So we got Plesac going for Cleveland and Garcia for the Astros.
Okay, yeah. So Zach Plesac. I didn't know that until you just told me that. Yeah. Zach Plesac we have not seen, I don't believe, this season. So have we?
Oh yeah, Plesac's been horrible. I mean, he's given up 16
I haven't seen any
runs.
Numbers.
He's given up 16 runs in his last 4 starts, and he's not a strikeout guy at all. Heck, this guy only has 23 strikeouts in 38 innings this year. So
you know why? You know why I
said anybody.
You know why I said we haven't seen Plesac is because I tweeted I searched Dan Plesac as opposed to
he hasn't pitched this year.
Yeah, no, he's a commentator.
Or in the last decade.
Yeah, he's a commentator on MLB Network. That's probably why.
It's like no recent form on Dan Plesac. What's going on here?
But no, you're right. Plesac's been horrible. Yeah, look, TC, you've had a good read on Houston, and I feel like I'm not going to jump in front of you. I don't have any issue in playing it either. Maybe an over. Honestly, I know Houston's been a great under team this year, but as you alluded to, Plesac is not good. I always tag Houston for about 5 runs. Garcia's solid, but I don't love him either. He's not one of my favorite Houston guys. And this is a Cleveland team that has a pretty good offense. These are bullpens, particularly in Cleveland. Both pretty good. So I guess you might not get much to there. I'm just undecided on this one. I'm going to mention to you, though, do what you got to do. You like Houston.
Well, and this is more of a play against Cleveland and Plesac too, both from an offensive perspective and pitching as well too. So I mentioned Plesac, but you got to remember Cleveland's lost 6 of their last 8 games. And here's what I like about Houston, guys. Like I said, I said last week, they're completely healthy. Watch Altuve, let off another homer, twice in the last few days again. I mean, he's rolling at that top of the order again.
Well, that's not something you're going to get from him much ever.
But the
he doesn't hit home runs.
What? What'd you say?
He doesn't hit home runs, Altuve.
Yeah, he does. He hit over 30, Jeff. Last year?
Jose Altuve, does he? No.
Yeah. He does a lot of stuff, Jeff.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about
I wouldn't consider him a typical home run guy, but he has.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But again, I've never remember him hitting home run.
He does. And especially in that park, it's really conducive. And he's like a first ball hitter. And aside from Ricky Henderson, he has the most leadoff homers of anybody. May even have surpassed him by now. But
That's
anyway,
I never realized that.
Yeah, it really, and here's what I like about Houston. It doesn't matter. They're winning no matter what. They've won 16 of the last 20. They win low scoring games. They can win high scoring games. Garcia, not great last outing, but he usually doesn't have 2 bad outings in a row. And again, I think Michael Brantley is going to have a good series too. Anytime he faces Cleveland, his ex-team, he's going to bust. Again, the Astros are healthy. I like them. It's worth giving them a shot here. So I'm going to ride the hot hand. And again, like I said, Cleveland and Plesac, they've lost 6 of their last 8. Not a big fan of this Cleveland team. BaseWinner, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if I'm looking at my line, I've got it at -196 for Houston. So I don't disagree with your play, but I think that you have to be careful when you're playing these -150 to -200 as a rule. they're just not a good bet over the last. And I'm narrowing it down to since last year's season and this year's season, and you have a sample of 855 games where the line's been, your favorite's been between -150 and -200. Well, they've won 60% of the time, or 59.4 to be exact, but you've lost 82.8 units if you were to bet this group collectively. And the reason is, on an average line of -170, you need to hit 63% of the time to be successful with that. So for me, unless I really love a play that's -170, and I'll put them out there every now and then, I'm going to try to stay out of that particular range. I don't think long term it has profit, and I think that specifically in these two seasons, last year and this year, where the ball is a little bit different, I think that an 800 sample is a pretty decent a sample to rely on. And so for me, I'm going to pass on it, although the base winner line would say that there would be value there at -170 TC.
And I'll say this, or I guess refute that to a certain degree, Mark, is that you just laid out a stat that you're playing every game and you're going to hit 59.4. Well, I'm not betting every favorite of that. I mean, I'm going to pick and choose. And I don't know what my record is of laying -170, but like I told you guys before, I'm going to bet good teams. And as the season goes on, when we start to see this bigger discrepancy, you're going to have to lay this if you want to bet good teams.
Well,
I'm not the guy that's just going to shy away and say, oh, I'm going to take a mediocre team or a bad team, and just because they're getting plus money. I'm going to bet good teams in good situations. There are going to be games like the Astros and the Dodgers and the Yankees. They're going to be heavy favorites like today. Garrett Cole. Do I think the Yankees are going to win? I do, but I'm not about to lay 333 with Garrett Cole, against a team that, he may lose. Yankees will probably win. They'll probably win going away. But again, I just don't think you can make that, statement saying, well, if all of these teams are, because I'm not betting.
No, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to put out a -165 if I like the game, but I think that if you're talking about cherry picking games, like I'd rather cherry pick out of a sample and so it's kind of an unfair comparison too, because even if you take any sample, you're probably going to have a losing record with it just because of the juice involved in betting baseball.
Yeah,
so maybe that's a little bit unfair, but I think that even if you account for the juice, it's not a good sample to go cherry picking in. And that's just for me. I'm not saying that I'm not going to play a -170 favorite. Maybe I'll play 3 tomorrow. It'd be like, base winner, you said not to play. But I think you just have to be cautious.
240, 250 favorites. Yeah, I know.
My whole point is, and I would argue that those -200 favorites over a larger sample have fared a lot better. In fact, just off the top of my head, over the last 3 seasons, they have like a 4.1% return on investment in the positive. So, and looking at a big group of games, so I'd rather cherry pick out of that batch than cherry pick out of the batch that has a losing ROI. But I'm not saying that it's a bad idea to play a certain range of plays at just 100% of the time, right? So plus I respect you on Houston too. So like I'm not gonna.
They're not going to win every day.
I don't know if I'm going to ever play against Houston, because I know you're getting a call from Dusty Baker in the morning, with lineups and injuries, and they're emailing you they're emailing you advanced data. I'm just teasing you. I shouldn't say that, man. They're gonna do an investigation on MLB Bet US show. Inside information. We're all going to go to jail.
All right. You guys are going to love it when I go back there for a week, because I go back there a couple times, and I'll definitely be there for the playoffs and I'll be doing the show from there. So you guys will enjoy that when I'm back in Houston doing the show here in about a month and a half. So we'll have some fun with that. All right.
Can I ask Dusty? Can I ask Dusty about his biometric data on his starting pitcher that night?
Yeah.
That would probably be not allowed, right?
Okay. Anyway, moving right along here. I will take the Astros today. So let's make it 17 out of 21 with this one, okay? And I guess the Bet US line now is down to 190. So